In 1974, farmers digging a well in the Shanxi province of central China made one of the most spectacular archaeological discoveries in history. They unearthed a life-size terracotta warrior, complete with armor and a bow. Further excavation revealed thousands more. An entire army, buried for over 2,000 years, guarding the tomb of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. But who was this emperor? And why did he need an army of clay soldiers to protect him in the afterlife? And how does his quest for immortality compare with the Pharaohs of Egypt, who built pyramids to ascend to the stars? This is the story of China's first emperor, and his terracotta army. Qin Shi Huang united China for the first time, in 221 BCE, ending centuries of war between 7 rival states. He standardized writing, currency, weights and measures, and even the axle length of carts. He began construction of the Great Wall to protect his new empire from northern nomads. He was a ruthless ruler who burned books, and buried scholars alive to control thought. But his greatest obsession was immortality. The emperor sent expeditions across the sea to find the mythical islands of the immortals, where a magic elixir was said to grow. He also summoned alchemists to his court to brew potions of eternal life. Ironically, one of those potions is believed to have killed him, containing mercury, which was thought to be the key to immortality. He died in 210 BCE at the age of 49. But the emperor had planned for death. He began constructing his tomb as soon as he ascended the throne at age 13. It took over 700,000 laborers nearly 4 decades to complete. The tomb complex is a vast underground palace, a replica of his empire. According to the ancient historian Sima Qian, the tomb contains palaces and towers filled with rare treasures. Rivers and lakes of mercury flow through the chambers, representing the Yangtze and Yellow Rivers. The ceiling is inlaid with pearls and gemstones depicting the stars and constellations, while the floor is a map of his empire cast in bronze. Mechanical crossbows are rigged to shoot any intruder. And in the center, the emperor himself lies in a bronze coffin, surrounded by the terracotta army. The terracotta army is the most famous part of the tomb complex. 3 pits have been excavated, containing over 8,000 life-sized soldiers, 130 chariots, and 670 horses. Every warrior is unique. Different hairstyles, armor, facial features, and expressions. They were originally painted in bright colors, but most of the pigment has faded after exposure to air. The army was arranged in battle formation, facing east toward the emperor's conquered enemies. The warriors were not mass-produced using molds. Each head, torso, and limb was individually sculpted by hand. The level of craftsmanship is astonishing. Bronze weapons found with the warriors are still sharp after 2,200 years, coated with a chromium-based preservative that modern metallurgists did not rediscover until the 1950s. But why did the emperor need an army of clay soldiers? In earlier dynasties, when a king died, his servants and concubines were often buried alive with him to serve him in the afterlife. Human sacrifice was common. Qin Shi Huang replaced living victims with terracotta replicas. It was a more humane alternative, but still reflected his belief that he would need an army to protect him and his empire in the next world. The terracotta army is a symbol of absolute power, a microcosm of the empire he had built. The tomb itself has never been opened. Sima Qian's descriptions suggest a sophisticated underground palace, but modern archaeologists have not excavated the central burial chamber. There are several reasons for this caution. The risk of damaging any fragile artifacts is extremely high. Excavation technology has advanced, but the Chinese government has prioritized preservation over exploration. The ancient texts mention rivers of liquid mercury, a highly toxic element. Recent surveys have indeed detected unusually high mercury concentrations in the soil around the tomb mound, suggesting the texts might be accurate. And many archaeologists believe the best practice is to leave the tomb undisturbed until technology can guarantee safe excavation. However, there have been new developments. In recent years, non-invasive surveys using ground-penetrating radar and other geophysical techniques have revealed a complex underground structure. The tomb mound itself is a pyramid-shaped earth mound, 76 meters tall, resembling the pyramids of Egypt but made of rammed earth instead of stone. This alignment with the pyramids is not coincidental. Both the Chinese emperor and the Egyptian pharaohs were obsessed with afterlife and immortality. Both built massive funerary complexes. Both surrounded themselves with treasures and servants for the next world. The similarities are striking, yet the differences reveal distinct philosophies. The Egyptians built pyramids of stone, pointed to the stars. The pharaoh was meant to ascend to the sky and join the sun god Ra. The Chinese built pyramids of earth, representing the stability of the state. The emperor ruled over an underground replica of his empire, surrounded by his army. For the Egyptians, the afterlife was an ascent to join the gods. For the Chinese, the afterlife was a continuation of earthly rule. The Terracotta army is not just a local wonder. It is a universal human story. The desire for immortality, the need for protection after death, and the celebration of power. The warriors have traveled to museums around the world. They have been seen by millions of people from every culture. They are a reminder that, despite our differences, we all share the same fears and hopes. When you look into the face of a Terracotta warrior, you are looking at the face of a civilization that believed death was not the end. Thank you for watching. If you want to continue exploring the mysteries of ancient China and its connections to the world, subscribe. Next episode, we will explore the mystery of the Olmec heads in Mesoamerica. Do their features resemble ancient Chinese or African sculptures? And did transoceanic contact exist before Columbus?